JDs and Lentilmen, Goys and Burls, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about something that has been a hot topic inside of my comment sections on every single Xdefiant video that I've uploaded. Now, real quick, before we go too far into this video, I just want to say this now. There's been a few people that have been like, hey, this is like an Xdefiant fan account, that's why you're so, post so many videos, blah, blah, blah. And no, the way I look at it is I've been very crucial on Xdefiant as a channel that's primarily made Call of Duty videos that used to do this as a hobby and is currently trying to transition it to like a full-time thing. I've been very critical on Xdefiant, and if you go back to some of the older videos, you'll know I went on some rants and said basically, hey, you're killing your game. This is something that the community was excited for. I was excited to make content on it, but because of the way you've handled it, I didn't care anymore. Went back to Call of Duty, and now as we've gone through the cycle of Call of Duty, finding out that this game in Modern Warfare 3 is an actually fun game, it's just that one element of skill-based matchmaking has killed it, that I've decided that, hey, I'm going to branch out, play other games. So I went back and started making videos on Xdefiant again because there's some hype behind it. I'm excited for it because it's going to be something that's fun to play. If you subscribe to the channel, you're going to notice that there's a ton of different games over the next couple months that you're going to be seeing on the channel, and that's what I want my channel to be about. I don't want it to be about the game that I'm playing, but the personality behind it. Enough about me, let's jump into it. So one of the hot topics inside my comment section has been that Xdefiant is a game that isn't going to be able to succeed after 3 to 4 months of launch. And I've been kind of on a rebuttal of how that won't be a thing, or at least I don't think it will. And I've given some examples, but we're going to dive a little deeper into them today. Now, Xdefiant's biggest competitor in the market is going to be Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a household name. It's a game that everyone knows and loves, I guess. I mean, that's a short term right now, because over the years, especially if you've played since the glory days, I call it, you know that Call of Duty is on a downward trend. Warzone, in my opinion, was one of the worst things to ever happen. At the same time, was one of the best things to ever happen. I have some amazing memories on Warzone, but I think that the idea of Battle Royale kind of took away from what the core multiplayer experience was. They've tried to revitalize that this year, but again, that lingering thing in the background of skill-based matchmaking has been there to kill this game. But their biggest competitor is that of Call of Duty, and at one point this was being touted by some people as the Call of Duty killer. I thought that was dumb. I thought it was, you don't go up against COD. You don't try to kill them. Your best bet is to coexist with them and create competition. And that's what's good for both games of Xdefiant and Call of Duty. Now, competition's really good for games. It's good to see someone else trying to do what you do best. And in Call of Duty's eyes, it'll make them a better game. And in Xdefiant's eyes, it'll make them a better game, most likely. And the biggest way I can explain this, and the best way to explain this that I've told so many people now, is look at Valorant and CSGO. At the time, CSGO was the #1 point-and-click style, kind of one-round, one-shot, headshot, whatever you want to call it, whatever style game you want to call that. It's a first-person shooter, point-and-click. It's the dumbed-down version of a game that is so successful because it's wildly competitive, it's extremely fun, the matches take a while, and people enjoy it for that. The skins were extremely customizable. Now, CSGO is a free-to-play game, and CSGO 2 recently launched as, an updated engine and all that kind of stuff to give better graphics, but we're not going to jump into that because at the time of competing Valorant was this new game on the block by Riot, and people were like, there's no way this game will succeed because it's just trying to be CSGO. Well, there was a little element of a difference inside of Valorant than there was CSGO with the abilities and the characters and stuff, because there are, if you've never played Valorant before, there's a different operators or characters, whatever you want to call them, and each one has different passive abilities and specialty abilities and whatever, and you can use them inside the game to kind of play to your play style in this same point-and-click style game. There's more movement. It's not exactly the same, but again, it's a free-to-play game that rivals that of a competitor in CSGO, and Valorant has become unbelievably worldwide successful. And one thing I can say and tip my hat to Valorant when I've played it and had fun with my friends is the community around Valorant. Now, there are some weird people. Of course, every gaming community is going to attract some weirdos, but the community from a standpoint of competitive and casual, they all come together. There's something that they don't, GA weapons, they don't do stuff like that. They overall together as a community know their game from top to bottom. And that brings me to say how the art style of Valorant also is a big deal. Valorant's art style is extremely creative, it's fun, it's not as drab and dreary as CSGO was, and it gravitated to a different style audience. So if you take a look at Call of Duty over the past couple years, it's been really just down and in the dumps and not creative and rushed, and there's just so much kind of dullness inside of COD that it's taken away the fun arcadey side of it. Now, you might love it or hate that, but Call of Duty, it's an arcade shooter. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be creative. It's supposed to be a game that people enjoy to play. And when you start taking these color palettes and you dull them out and you give us fan favorite returning maps, whatever you want to call it, and they're not unique or fun and fresh in any way, you're just pushing your player base away. But when you have a free-to-play game now in XDefiant, that the maps we played in the playtest and the betas and even some stuff you guys probably didn't even get to play because you didn't know about XDefiant, when I was playing this game 2 to 3 years ago in NDA behind closed doors, there's modes you probably have never seen before, maps you've probably never seen before that we've gotten our hands on that are unique and creative. And this also falls in the same line of how Valorant did, where this ties in another franchise to the game. Riot was known for their previous titles and everything, and that's why people jumped on board with Valorant, where you have this game that's being made by Ubisoft that's directly tying in universes from Ubisoft games that you might already come to love. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, and from the leaks and rumors we've gotten about XDefiant, that one day down the road, we'll get an Assassin's Creed-style bundle. That sounds fucking awesome. That sounds so cool, and having their own faction inside the game would be something that's extremely cool. Games like this will survive because they're free to play. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can jump on and play the game at any time for free. And now, instead of having this skill-based matchmaking that's extremely egregious and makes players want to spend more money or optimize matchmaking, whatever the hell it's called in Call of Duty, you now have input-based, where we can kind of take away from that idea of PC versus controller. I mean, obviously, if you're playing with your friends who are on different platforms, you can play on keyboard and mouse, you play on controller together. It's not like you can't play that way. It's not restricted completely. But if you're just playing on controller on console, you're going to play against other people on controller. You're not set apart against maybe people on keyboard and mouse. Now, I'm a big proponent that I don't really care what input I'm playing against. I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to sweat my ass off and be this sweaty, competitive person when playing a video game. I just want to have fun and play games with my friends. Now, it's going to have a ranked mode, which people are going to find fun. They're going to grind out. It's going to be a niche community, and I think in the beginning, that's what's the best part about it, is you're going to have people that are very passionate about the game. And if the game follows down the footsteps that it seems to want to do, and is this community-driven game, XDefiant has a great chance at succeeding. So the whole 3 to 4 month dead game kind of thing, I just feel like it's not gonna happen. It's gonna survive just on the basis that it's free to play and it's not Call of Duty. So, just to be honest, I don't see XDefiant being a dead game in 3 to 4 months. Now, if they don't give updates, they already have a roadmap, they already have content planned, but if they don't update it quick enough, that's what kills a game. I've been a big fan of saying that XDefiant needs a secondary mode or something unique to itself, which I still think whatever One Life non-respawn mode that we played way back in NDA makes its return, I think that's going to be something that is fun. You need modes like that that are not uber competitive, but at least give a little more of a tactical fun style to it rather than just the traditional 6v6 pub style. The payload mode I've come to love more and more as I've played it inside of XDefiant, especially because I've been getting my hands more back on Overwatch. That's its primary mode and it's unique, and having these different kind of factions and abilities and all that stuff inside of XDefiant leads to more unique gameplay, and then you have that aspect of what you know in the past of a first person shooter. So the payload mode, definitely unique, but they just need something else that's going to allow them to be a fun, creative game. And one thing that I've been hearing a lot of that I think is amazing that it's making a return is a style of prestige mode. Prestiging is something that if you grew up in Call of Duty, the pub stomping, grinding out levels, and doing that kind of stuff was a way to show about how much you play the game and show how much of, you don't touch grass. But prestiging is something that we've been asking for in the Call of Duty community for fucking years. I can't understand and wrap around in my head how it helps Activision to not have a generic basic prestige mode because it harms new players. I can't understand that. And if we can simplify a video game in XDefiant, I think you're going to pluck a lot of people away from Call of Duty, whether you play both, whether you play one or the other. I just think little things like that are important details that people want to see inside of a game. So I guess I'll end this video this way by basically saying what we know coming forward, going into whenever the launch of XDefiant officially is. Expect a playtest soon for PC and probably next gen. They're going to be testing out that new party system. We kind of got confirmation directly from Mark Rubin that they're going to have another playtest at some point. And to everyone that's been coming in from the XDefiant community, and you guys have been awesome down in the comment section other than the trolls here and there. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for coming in. You guys have been awesome. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below regarding XDefiant. And that's kind of all we have for today's video. Kind of a little bit of a rant discussion style video like we used to do in the past, because branching into more of that stuff. Once the game launches, we'll get the gameplays and all that going. But expect some more Pal World here on the channel in the next couple days, because I'm going to be honest, I'm fucking addicted. Like, really fucking addicted. So the question of the day, put in the comment section down below. Have you guys played Pal World yet? What are your thoughts on it? And do you guys think it's a fun game, or is it just overhyped? But I love you guys to death. I appreciate all love and support here recently on the channel. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Turn on those post notification bells so you guys never miss an upload. You guys are beautiful, one of a kind. And until next time, guys, deuces, bye!